Hello, and welcome to Issues and Insights. I am Carmen Caldera-Brasca, and I am joined today by the new Hardin County Communications Director, Mr. Brian Walker.
Good morning.
Good to see you again. And Mr. Aaron Miller, Director of Information Technology for Hardin County Government.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to you as well.
Thank you.
So Brian, let's start with you. Tell us about your new role with Hardin County Government.
So this is an opportunity for us to expand on what has been done over the last decades. The role will be a combination of working with interdepartment and interagency groups to stay ahead of anything that might be coming down the line. For example, you know, we live in Kentucky. There's a possibility we'll have bad weather this winter. So we're working on a pretty exhaustive plan, not only to do that work and make sure that we're covered with equipment and manpower and needs, like how much salt will we need. We're also going to be working on a social media campaign and making press releases to inform the public ahead of time. If we have bad weather, here's how this will work. And one of the quick things, there's 570 miles of roads in Hardin County that are under the county's control. There's also city roads, there's private roads, and then there's state roads. But each of those people handle their own thing. So when you go out to clear and salt and clean those roads, it takes 16 hours. And we don't have enough people to work 24/7. It would just, you couldn't afford to do that.
Right.
So when they start, it's 2 shifts back to back. Then they are required to give them 8 hours off. So when they start is just as crucial to how they start. And there's a lot of things people may not realize. Salt doesn't work in every condition.
Right.
If it's raining, you'd be better off just pouring the salt on the ground. It doesn't help if it's above a certain temperature. So that's just one example of what we're going to do to push out information ahead of time and then during. And then, you know, good Lord forbid we have a disaster like we had this flooding earlier this year, or the, you know, terrible conditions that happened with a tornado or something like that. I'll be working with each of these agencies because you could potentially have numerous fire departments, the sheriff's office, emergency services, the coroner, and government officials all on site, and even some from possibly the city. So there's a lot of coordination involved, but it's planning ahead and getting ready. And then there's just day-to-day social media things. You know, we've got a road closure coming up next week where they're going to be doing some work, and we put out this morning, how can you route around that? And sometimes it's just getting those small messages out there. Sometimes it's good news. Somebody gets a grant or an award. But each of the elected officials will maintain their own media, like the sheriff's office or the Hardin County Clerk's office. They'll still have their own presence, but we will work together with them to put their information out and share it after they've come up with what they need or want. And that's just kind of a broad strokes overview of what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks and what I'm going to keep doing. So.
Right, great. And so what led you to this change?
So it's really an odd thing. I've been doing mornings and doing some programming at WQXE, Quixie 98.3. I've been there for over 8 years, almost 9. I've been doing the morning show for right at 7. And then with my partner, Tricia Caudle, we had a morning show for almost exactly 6 years. And we had literally won every award you can win and had high ratings and really good social media presence, and we had gotten a lot of attention on the statewide level. And when I heard this opportunity was coming open, I could have done that job for the rest of my life. It's a great job. And there was no reason to leave, but I kept thinking, the age I am, if I'm ever going to make a leap, I should do it now. And the age I am, I could probably do this for 10 or 12 years to get to full retirement. So I felt like it was a new challenge, a new opportunity. And I never wanted to just rest on my laurels or coast. I didn't want to go, well, I can just do this and get complacent. I wanted something where I would be forced to have to try. And that was such a well-oiled machine. It was like, I think I want to change. But I didn't know I wanted to change until this just kind of rose up. So.
Right. So a good challenge.
I feel like it is, yeah.
Good. I think you'll be wonderful.
Well, thank you.
So, Mr. Miller, tell us about October. Why is October important?
October's important because it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Cybersecurity Awareness Month happens every year in October. A Department of Homeland Security and the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA for short, put out that, hey, it's October Cybersecurity Awareness Month. This year, the theme is Building a Cyber Strong America. So it kind of falls under, making, the nation as great as possible. And we're going to do this through cybersecurity. The awareness portion of it is just to be aware of, attacks that can come through electronic devices, such as, your phones and your email and smart cards and scams where they read your card out of your pocket and things of that nature. So we just need to be aware and make sure that the public is aware and how you can protect yourself.
So what are some common cybersecurity threats that the general public should be aware of, and how do those impact us on a daily basis?
Well, all cybersecurity threats, they're looking to gather information. So they're wanting to take the information that you have and build a bigger database. And they know that the information that they gather from you or they take from you or they restrict your access to, that you want it back. So then it comes to a financial gain. Just like any other scams, you hear about them all the time on the news, the credit card scams, the gift card scams. All those are for financial gain. Cybersecurity is the same thing. There's these threats that come through the cyber realm of our daily lives now. Really, that's what they want. They want a financial gain, whether it's ransomware, malware, hey, look, we paid you too much. We're gonna refund you. Send us gift cards in the mail type thing. That's all a financial gain for them. So we just need to be aware that, and that's what this month is about, and why we push it so hard. Is we want folks to be aware that these are scams, and their main thing is to take your money. And we want to protect you. We want you to protect yourself. We have a theme that goes around our office and county government in particular, be a cyber hero. So if you're a cyber hero, then you're not going to fall victim to these scams.
Right.
So,
what are the most effective strategies or habits that we as individuals can have to protect ourselves online?
well, the biggest habit everybody can look at is, in particular when it comes to email, is look for red flags. So your red flags are, were you expecting the email? Is it coming from somebody that you know? That's the two biggest red flags. The other one is, hey, look, it came, I didn't expect it. Let me verify. So you have to look and protect yourself. Brian and I were talking off camera that, in his previous employer, his email would get flooded with all these, potentially spam emails. And some of them could be spam, some of them are actually, legitimate emails. But you have to look through that and look at it and say, okay, was I expecting this email? Is it coming from somebody I know? And then once you get into the email, verify that, hey, look, this isn't a reply to an old email asking for you to do something like transfer funds, and then has a link. That's another big warning sign. If it has embedded links, click here, do this now. This is very important. Those immediate terms that want to make you to say, oh, okay, I need to do that. You have to watch for those things, because that's a red flag. Because they're trying to trick you into, transferring or, giving them a financial gain. And on the other side of it, ransomware. If you click something, you have ransomware attack, even at home. They locked everything down, and they give you a number to call. You call that number, they're going to say, well, we want X amount of Bitcoin. And I didn't check right prior to this Issues and Insights, but Bitcoin is roughly, hundreds of thousands of dollars for one. So if they charge you 5 Bitcoin, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And that's their financial gain. So it's a lot about financial gain when it comes to cybersecurity. And we just need to be aware and watch for the red flags.
So if something looks legitimate, but you still have a question, what should you do?
There are things out there. A lot of companies now are implementing what they call a phish alert, so you can phish that email. If you get it on a mobile device, then the best thing is just to delete it, get rid of it. Don't click on anything. But if you do feel like that you have fallen victim to one of these scams, and there's sources out there that you can reach out to. IC3 is the FBI source where you can report, hey, look, I believe I've been victimized. I believe I've been fallen victim to this cybersecurity attack, and they will do their investigation on the backside, and they will get in contact with you. We had a lady recently come by our office, and she had fallen victim, and that's the first thing we did was report it to IC3, which is our FBI contact. So, and there's other reporting tools, especially industries the different industries that are out there. We have different reporting tools. Like for us, we have DLG. We also have the Commonwealth Office of Technology. We also report to CISA, which is the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. So we have other authorities that report to you, but the common citizen that's out there, they don't have those, or they don't know about them.
Right.
So the biggest one is that IC3 with the FBI. We can't stress that enough. If you feel like you've been victimized, reach out to those. The other thing you need to do is, if you feel like you've been victimized, is take that device and isolate it. Cut it off from any way somebody can talk to that device or get to that device, and then talk to either the manufacturer or talk to somebody that to run additional scans on it to clean it up and to restore it or to get it back to where it was safe to use again. So, and with that being said, Windows 11, Windows 10, the Windows 10 sunsetting is coming November 14th. And what that means is if you're running a Windows 10 device after October 14th, it will be subject to cybersecurity events and cybersecurity attacks, because Microsoft will no longer support that or send out updates, security updates in particular, to help you out, to protect yourself. So it's best to, if it says it can upgrade to Windows 11, you need to upgrade to Windows 11. And that goes for anybody that's running home office, pro. We really need to be aware that Windows 10 is being sunsetted, and they will no longer support Windows 10. As far as the security updates, the operating system itself will still function like always. You can still turn it on. You can still go to the internet. You can still surf. But your vulnerability of being attacked, or the methods of attacking Windows 10 is greater at that point, because they know that they're not going to patch anything anymore. And these guys out there that have these scams and are looking for vulnerabilities inside of computers, inside of phones, and all this stuff, credit card scammers and all, they're smart. The law enforcement only has to get lucky one time. They have to get lucky all the time, and they seem to get lucky more often than not. So.
Right. Good information to have. Have you ever participated in or led a cybersecurity awareness campaign?
I've been with the county since 2008. We started our cybersecurity awareness program roughly shortly after I arrived, so we got that started. What that does is that we send out the county employees receive emails, and they're fake emails. So they'll get an email that says, hey, look, I want you to click on this, or hey, look, you got a speeding ticket outside of the government building. You need to click here to pay your speeding ticket. And if you click there, then it reports it, and then you get additional training. And we send all that out electronically. And we have a unique set of training. So our training is more of a mini-series type training. So it's not the standard, hey, look, don't click on things. Hey, don't do this, don't do that. And the 3 to 5 minute training. No, our trainings, they're 10 to 15 minutes long, and it's a drama series, and it's really intuitive, especially when you hear folks say, "Hey, look, I did this, I didn't let somebody follow me through the door," and then they start paying attention because it's not that mundane. Hey, look, don't do this, don't do this, and then especially most of our training has quizzes in it. So you have to pay attention because you have to do a quiz at the end.
Right?
You told me that they use a lot of the same actors, and like you said, it's sort of a mini-series. You find yourself, I like this one better than this one. This one's not as smart as this one, so I'm kind of looking forward to getting into all those.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
So how would you assess whether a community or an organization is properly prepared and aware of cybersecurity risks?
Well, it's all about how it's all about being a cyber hero for yourself. So looking at the community, you notice things where individuals reach out and, hey, look, we've seen this, and this is what we did. Okay, great. One of the aspects of our cybersecurity training, one of the beginning aspects is, watch for people tailgating. And tailgating is a way for somebody that walks in behind you as you go through a secure location. That's tailgating. So if you stop that person and say, hey, look, you can't come in here, this is a restricted area, that's prevented. And they learn that through our training. And so the more training you get, the better off you are. And a lot of it, you'll see it. As cybersecurity professionals and IT professionals like myself and others, we see that. If you come up to me and you're talking about, hey, look, I seen this email, it was funky, so I fished it. Okay, that's what you're trained for, and that makes us happy because it's less on us to think, oh, I have to look at that. Oh, this might be a compromise, so now I have to dig it into a little bit deeper. If you fish that email, that's what you need to do. That's what we're teaching our folks at county government to do, and it spans the gamut. Our detention center personnel, they get the same training as, say, our communication officer gets. It's all the same training. So they all are aware of what they need to do and how they need to do it. So it's a blanket policy.
Great. Is there somewhere that John Q. Public can go to learn these cybersecurity things, what they should watch for in emails and watch for in texts, and maybe even take a quiz to see if they know as much as they think they do?
Yes, ma'am. There are several different offerings out there that are free to the public. CISA has several of them. It's CISA, CISA. If you go out to their website or Google search it, especially when it comes to cybersecurity awareness training, they have flyers that you can put up in your office area, or you can distribute it, to your kids. Kids are really acceptable to it because they just like to click. So, there's flyers out there that you can get. There's toolkits, which has videos and quizzes and things of that nature. But it's all free to the public. You just need to go out there and research it and find it. CISA is a great source for that. We have links on our website. So hardincountyky.gov. If you go to the information technology page of our site, I have links on my page that sends you to these other resources that you can use.
Great. Wonderful. So Brian, I'll ask you one final question. What is your number one goal in your first year as communications officer?
I really want the public to be more informed about all aspects of county government, and I want people to understand they have the right and really the privilege of being able to see and be involved in that, whether it's attending fiscal court meetings, and if they have a community concern or something like that, we have an upcoming town hall where they will literally be able to address our elected officials directly and ask them questions and have that information put out. And we have committee meetings where, I mentioned roads previously, but there's also emergency management and things like that. The public can come and learn what we do and why we do it. And I think people may not realize that things don't go on behind closed doors and you're not allowed to know. It's your government and there are laws, and it has to be a transparency.
Right. Great. Well, thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Issues and Insights. Have a great day.